Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vish, and today we're going to be going through my December wrap-up. So on my December TBR video, I mentioned 9 books, and from those 9 books, I actually read 3. And overall, actually, for the whole month, I read 10 books. But from the original TBR video that I made, I've read 3 of them from there, and the rest is just different books. So let's go through our usual stats for the month. So in December, I read 10 books, which adds up to 3,415 pages. Star rating wise, I have 1 2 stars, 5 4 stars, and 4 5 stars. That was very confusing, but that's what it is. And genre-wise, I read 5 fantasy, 4 manga, and 1 horror. Age range, I read 6 adult books and 4 YA books. And my mode of reading, I don't know what to call these things, I just called it mode of reading. So 2 books are from my physical TBR, 5 from the library, and 3 were from Kindle. And that comes to 7 books and 3 ebooks. So that's all the stats. I know there's a 2-star read in there, and I usually don't give 2 stars that often. I know I gave 2 stars in like November, but if you see throughout the year, I never give 2 stars till now, basically, because usually I don't get to that point in a book where I have to give it 2 stars. Normally I would just DNF it, but you'll see why I continued on with the book and I gave it 2 stars. So as usual, let's start from the lowest rated books to the highest rated books. And obviously the lowest rated was a 2-star book. And I read The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood. So just a bit of backstory about this book. So I had to do a BookTube World Hoppers Secret Santa in December where a bunch of us got each other and we had to read the other's favorite book. If you haven't checked out my video and review of The Unspoken Name, I will link it up above and down below. I will also link the World Hopper Secret Santa playlist of everyone basically reviewing the book that they got down below as well for you to check out. So for the Secret Santa, I got Tori and I picked The Unspoken Name. I actually gave this a 2.7 out of 10, which is a 2-star read. So this book is essentially about this girl, Sorway, who is a 14-year-old who is chosen to be sacrificed to this god who is the Unspoken One, who is essentially the god of death. So she's about to be sacrificed, and this wizard comes to her and tells her, "Come with me if you want to live." And she goes with him, and he asks her to help him take back his empire and also try and find the reliquary of Pentravese. I forgot what it was. So this reliquary is basically a box full of just knowledge, just vast knowledge that no one has, and if someone gets it, they can become powerful, essentially. The wizard wants Sorway to help him find that reliquary and also take back his empire. And in the first 100 to 150 pages, Sorway goes from being a 14-year-old about to be sacrificed to a 16-year-old training in combat and learning languages to a 21-year-old trying to find a reliquary. So it's a very fast time jump, and we don't get a lot of character interaction, character building. We're more focused on the plot. And me being a character-driven reader, I did not care for the characters because there was no, again, character building. It was plot focused, and the world was very interesting, but it wasn't interesting enough for me to keep going with the book or just caring about it. My arm hurts. So that's why I didn't like this book, but I know obviously Tori does, and Bethany from A Beautifully Bookish Bethany, they really like this book. So definitely still check it out, because obviously it is a polarizing book, but I just associate this book with the BookTube Secret Santa, which I thoroughly enjoyed the experience. So again, if you haven't checked out the playlist of everyone reviewing their own books, I'll link it down below for you to check out. So the first 4-star book, or the lowest 4-star book, is The Patience of a Dead Man by Michael Clark. This is a horror book, actually horror series, trilogy, which was recommended to me by Lezlie from The Nerdy Narrative. Check out her channel. I love her. So she raved about this book, and I wanted to check it out because I wanted to get into horror. Checked it out. I really enjoyed this. I gave this a 7.6 out of 10, which is a 4-star rating. I read this through Kindle Unlimited, actually, so check it out. It might be on your Kindle Unlimited. I'm not sure because obviously different countries It varies, just check it out just in case. So this book is essentially about a man who buys this house to refurbish it. He wants to refurbish it and then sell it. So when he buys this house, lo and behold, he finds certain events happening at this house, and he tries to solve what is happening in that house. It's a little bit of actually like a, I won't say detective because they're like self-detectives. It's like a detective mystery trying to find out the past of the ghost. Why is the ghost doing the things that she's doing? So I didn't expect it going in that kind of direction, but I still enjoyed it because I actually like the characters. Normally in horror books, I don't really care too much about the characters because it's not like the focus. But this book, characters were done really, really well. I connected with the characters. I really was rooting for them and hoping they didn't die. And I was very, very interested in trying to find out the history about the spirit. And I was thoroughly creeped out. And also, I was reading this at night, so I'm a chicken. I get scared with supernatural, paranormal kind of things. So I was scared reading this at night, and coincidentally, I was home alone some of the nights because Sam works nights sometimes. So I read it at night, and I was very scared. So I'm definitely going to continue the series. The second book is Dead Woman Scorned, I think. So I'm definitely going to continue the series because I really enjoyed the first book. Can't wait to see what the second book holds, and we learn more about what happened in the first book. Now, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, definitely want to check out the second book for sure. If you haven't read this, read it. It's actually, I think it's like 300-ish pages, so it's not that big. Check it out if you want to be spooked. So, I'm sad to say the next two books I actually can't talk about because I'm doing a reading vlog about it, and I haven't read the third book yet, so I can't talk about the two books that got 4 stars. So, you guys just have to wait for that reading vlog. I'm sorry. Just know they both got 4 stars. I really enjoyed them. And you'll see them in a reading vlog when I finish the third book. Be excited for it though. Be excited. So the next 2 books I have to talk about is actually a first book and a second book in a series. And they both got the same rating, which is surprising, but also sounds about right. So the 2 books I'm going to talk about is From Blood and Ash and A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So these 2 were on my TBR, and coincidentally, Jashana from the channel Jashana, will link her channel down below for you to check out. I love her. And anyways, we buddy read both these books. We had such a fun time buddy reading this together. Anyway, these 2 books got 8.6 out of 10, which is a 4 star. So, this is a new adult fantasy romance, but just in my statistics, I just put it as adult because it's kind of adult. But anyway, this book is following Poppy, who is a maiden. So being a maiden means you can't interact with people, and people can't see you because she wears a veil, so no one can actually like see what she looks like. So she can't interact with anyone. She can't eat dinner with anyone. She can't fall in love. She can't do things a normal human being would do because she's a maiden. So she has to be prim and proper and like innocent. But Poppy is not that kind of girl. She is feisty, she stands up for herself, she knows how to defend herself, which is a very surprising trait that I did not expect, but I really do appreciate in these books, because I just thought, you know, being a maiden, I thought she was going to be the soft-spoken, innocent girl who becomes like that, but no, she is already feisty and just knows how to defend herself and stands by her personality and by her principles. She gets assigned a new guard called Hawk, and he basically just has to watch over her and, you know, go wherever she goes and protects her and prevents people from assassinating her. And this being a fantasy romance, you know where this is gonna go. And the romance was chef's kiss, so good. Okay, this is a fun fantasy romance. There were definitely issues with probably world building, just because I wasn't fond of how she did. She did a good job of it, but I wasn't fond of how she did it, because we got basically info dumps for the first book. We got the info dumps in the beginning, and infodumps at the end. So in the middle, it's just like a slow trickle of what the world is. But the majority of the information was the beginning and the end. So I wasn't fond of that, but it was still good because the world is very, very interesting. And the first book, we basically have the romance with Poppy and Hawk, and we find out more about the world and everything. And in the second book, we deal with the repercussions of the first book, and it's very much a character development kind of book. It's very slow in terms of action, but to me it didn't seem slow because I love the characters. Maybe not Poppy in the second book. Poppy in the second book was a dumb bitch, but in the second book I really love Hawk and some of the other characters, which I won't say because spoilers. Overall, I really enjoyed these two books. Like, they were so much fun, especially the romance. The world itself is so interesting, and I just had a good time with Jashana, and we're definitely going to buddy read the third book as well, which I think is going to come out on the 21st of April, I believe. Cannot wait for that one. My battery is flashing at me, so I'm gonna do this fast. The 5-star books are actually the Full Metal Alchemist mangas. So I gave them all a 9.1 out of 10, which is a 5-star rating. So I think I've mentioned this in my November wrap-up, that is essentially following these two boys who are alchemists, and they're trying to get their body back because they were trying to resurrect their mom, and it didn't go as well, so they lost some parts of their body. Alphonse lost his actual body trapped in this metal armor. So that's essentially what they're trying to do. It's all about alchemy. It's funny. It's action-packed. And I'm on volume 15 at the moment. I'm pretty sure Lezlie and Una have finished the series. I'm buddy reading with them, but they finished it and I'm kind of catching up. So I really love this series. I already talked about it a lot in my November wrap-up. I'll link it up above and down below for you to check out. My battery died in spite of me going so fast. But either way, I absolutely love this manga series and I hope to complete it in 2021. And I'm gonna be really sad when they end because I love Edward and Alphonse. I just want to keep them in my pocket and just keep them safe. If you haven't checked out this manga series yet, definitely do. It's so freaking good. I really recommend it for sure. And those are all the books I read in December. That's a lot of books, but I'm sorry I can't talk about the other two books because of my reading vlog. Hopefully I'll get to the third book in January. We'll see what happens there. Let me know what you read in December. Any books that I've read that you've read at the same time, let me know. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!